Hi, this is Told. Welcome. And today we're looking at the new plot mechanic that came out. Got announced today or yesterday. Um, so Thunder Junction spoiler season started, and the new plot mechanic is you can pay the plot cost for the card, and you put it into exile, and then later, or I guess in the same turn, you could do it, but most likely you're gonna save those up and cast them later on another turn at sorcery speed, or as a sorcery, like when you can cast a sorcery. So on one of your main phases, you can cast that card from exile for free, since you already paid the cost of it. So I wanted to look at the cards that are in the current set and some mechanics that we can look at that are going to benefit from that new mechanic. So obviously, prowess is a big thing, so if you could plot a bunch of spells. So these are non-creature spells. So, anything that's not a creature that you could plot. I'm not sure what's going to come out. They only revealed a few cards right now, and there's going to be more cards coming. But there are some cards that allow you to plot, like from the top of your library, any non-land card. So most likely you'll be able to plot non-creature spells. And so prowess is a big thing. There's a lot of prowess creatures that we have in red or blue. That'll benefit for that. Jaya makes a monk with prowess. The mentor has prowess as well, but also when you cast a non-creature spell, it makes a token. And then there's a number of spells where you cast a non-creature spell, but it's not prowess, but they do other things, that might be better now with that mechanic. So like the surgeon. You put an oil counter on it, you remove an oil counter, target creature gains flying until end of turn. So it might be possible that you bust out, 2 or 3 spells, put a bunch of oil counters, give stuff flying. It might actually make this card playable that, isn't before that. The Spell Dancer benefits from this as well, with the oil counters, so that you can double up spells. So you can, cast 2, get some oil counters on it, attack in, and then duplicate, and cast some more free spells. The Flame Breather, just does damage, so you can just, wait till you get, Ogier out, and then you just bust out a bunch of spells, and then just finish the game off. Iconoclast makes creatures like the Mentor, more damage spells, Lamb Holt, and then if it's you might want to wait till it's nighttime, and then you can just cast a whole bunch of spells. Stuff like the Frenzy Devils, where, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn, so it gets pumped. So then you can store those plotted cards up, and then you could just, swing in for some big damage, hopefully. The Goliath, probably not going to use it because it's so expensive to cast, but, it is a card. I just want to throw it in there. And then I think these are all like pump guys. So these all get +2/+0 until end of turn when you cast an instant or sorcery spell. There's another card that's in the set that does a similar thing for 2 mana, I think. So you could have 4 or 12 or 16. Just get a bunch of cards that can do that and just build a deck around that, pumping them up. The Battle Mage Captain, does the same thing. Storm Silex is just another card. I just wanted to put those in there just to show them off. And then, some damage spells. We got the Alchemist. I think I had one over here that was in the wrong pile. Oh, maybe it was over here. But that's non-creature. This is sorcery and instant spells. So if you store up a bunch of sorcery and instant spells, you can, just pop them off. You tap them, do 1, cast an instant for free, untap them, tap them again. Urbrask, something that you want to be able to cast, 4 spells, or is it 4 or 3? Actually, only if you cast 3 or more instants or sorcery spells. So, you could store those spells up, get Urbrask out, and then you could just cast those for free, and you get extra mana. Rona does a point of damage, to the opponent, when you cast that. And then other stuff like the Questing Druid, you could just pump that up pretty good. Wrath, You can, maybe this card becomes usable now, because you can, tap creatures that you have, draw cards, and you could cast. Well, you can't cast them on your opponent's turn because they're sorcery speed, but maybe that's still not playable. But I just want to throw it in there. The reservoir, you get to put charge counters on it. So the idea is you're storing up, the cards, the plotted cards, for so that you can, once you get those creatures out, you could get a bunch of sorcery roll tokens, for free, basically, that you stored up. Make a bunch of 1/1, soldier tokens. Obviously Judith, we've seen that. I've had that in multiple decks. You can create a bunch of imps, just out of nowhere for free. Plus you're also casting those spells, and probably doing damage to the opponent's face, stuff like that. And Pia is gonna be a deck, with Boros colors, Quintorius Pia. We're casting cards from exile. You gain 2 damage to the opponent, you're gaining 2 life. So you store up those cards, and then Quintorius comes out, and then you cast all those cards for free. Or you get Pia out there, and you cast all those cards for free. You get a bunch of Thopters, you swing in, and maybe some of those cards that you've stored up are pumping the Thopters, and just a big final turn thing. And then obviously Twin Inferno and Galvanic Iteration, so you can copy spells. So sometimes you don't have enough mana to cast the the Twin Inferno or the Galvanic Iteration, and then to cast a spell on top of that. So we don't know what's coming yet, but depending on what the plot spells are, you might be able to copy those, and then Jin Gataxix, you could copy those spells for free. So you pay it for free, and then you just copy it. And then Ogier, you could give it rebound. So you store up a bunch of cards, and then you can just get Ogier out, and then bam, Ogier. And then the Street Artist is a card that might see some play, as you can copy a target spell you control that wasn't cast. Oh, maybe that wouldn't work. Never mind, just take that one out. You have to read. But then there are some cards that can punish opponents that I wanted to look at. We'll just put them here. So there's the Wash Away counterspell. It's one of the counterspells that I love to use for the adventure cards, because you can still pay it for the cleave cost. You can still pay 3 mana, which is a normal counterspell cost, but you can counter a target spell that wasn't cast from a hand. So if someone plots a spell, now you can counter it for 1 mana. So I think this card's going to see an uptick in play, if the plot mechanic takes off. The Viper, I'm assuming a lot of the plot cards are going to be low on mana value. So, you can get the Viper out, and then maybe you punish them for, casting up, their free spells, and they get punished. And then the Extraordinary Journey, when one or more, well, I guess this is only for creatures. But, if they plot a bunch of creatures, if there's a bunch of creatures that get plotted, then you can draw cards for that. I guess it only triggers once per turn, so it's not that great. But it is a one way to punish them. So yeah, I just wanted to look at some of the cards in the current set. I'll add this deck list to the description in case you want to, take a look at it and see, cards that, you might want to be using in about a month or so. So yeah, this has been Told. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.